Right, we're back for the second part of the introductory lecture. I'm going to talk about critical analysis. In many respects, critical analysis is a big difference between higher education and other forms of education. It's not enough to collect information or get results from experiment or observations. We need to ask questions about why things are happening, or, given what we know, how we can improve a situation. Your assignment will involve you critically reviewing a public health campaign using two tools. As usual, we'll take a step-by-step through this process to help you develop your professional skills as well as developing the assignment task. Here's a summary of the three key elements of critical analysis: description, analysis, and evaluation. If you search online or look in the various resources available by the library, you'll find lots of sort of advice on critical analysis, which can go into a lot of details in many places. But I think you'll find if you consider it carefully, it does come down to these three elements. We describe a process, we analyse what's happened, and we evaluate how effective it's been. This helps us develop a step-by-step process to address the many issues you will come across in professional life. Maybe print this image out and stick it up somewhere to remind you in your workspace. As mentioned earlier, it's not just a question of what we did and what happened, but how we can improve things in the future. This is said to be iterative thinking and is the key to improvement. So there's a slightly bigger, slightly extended iterative cycle there. Again, there are lots of these things out there, and provide the basis for professional development, not just at university, but postgraduate in professionals as well when you're in work. This is the ppdac cycle. We're going to be using this as one of the tools you'll use to analyse the public health campaign you're going to look at. You have a problem, you have a plan. Rather, the people who've done the public health campaign had a specific problem, they developed a plan, they collected data, they did some analysis, they drew some conclusions, and then try to improve systems by an iterative cycle. pdac is widely used. For now, look back perhaps in the previous slides and see how pdac maps onto critical analysis and the iterative cycle. This is pdac in more detail. Again, note the relationship to critical analysis and the iterative cycle. I'm not going to go through this. You can pause the video and you can look at the presentation and develop your own understanding. The second tool we use to understand how well campaign material conforms is successful will be how well it conforms to the principles of universal design for learning. There will be a lecture on this, but for now we'll note this arose from the architectural concept of universal design for living. If you click on this link, it'll give you a nice video providing some background on that. In terms of universal design for living, the IKEA instructions are a classic example of UDL for living, rather. Both living and learning, I guess. They're just pictures, not words. You don't have to understand the language. Okay, you maybe have to work out what 4 times means, but beyond that, it's just a visual language, which is about as universal as you can get. There are some technical considerations associated with the universal design for learning. As usual, we discuss about this more later, so don't get worried too much if it all seems a bit strange at the moment. We will come back to this in a while. And there will be a lecture on this. Okay, the delivery of the module. We've already talked about this a little bit in the introduction to study at Teesside. Due to the COVID pandemic, the module will be delivered using by the university's hybrid delivery module. So we will meet once a week, supported by online activities analogous to the normal delivery. So we'll meet once a week for an hour. You'll be given various things to do, and we'll also try to meet with you online in tutorials to discuss progress on both the learning materials of the course and the assignment. So you won't be left on your own. There's a fancy word there, fancy pedagogic word, asynchronous. That means we're not all doing things at the same time. When we have face-to-face seminars, we are synchronous. We're all in the same room at the same time. There will be a group in Microsoft Teams. I've already set it up, and I will add everyone to it before the start of the academic year. So as I say, regular Q&As of questions and workshops on assignment. We've already got some tutorial activities. There'll be something again more to get you warmed up in a moment. You can do these as individuals first, and that would be recommended, but maybe consider sharing ideas in small groups before we can meet as a whole group. So here's tutorial activity 2. Think about UK public health with respect to nutrition. What do you think are the most important issues? That's just a list. Why do you think they're the most important issues? We'll talk about this in the future. Okay, third tutorial activity. We're going to be looking at using Microsoft Forms and Excel. So what we're going to do is develop a questionnaire about how experienced you are in Excel. So I'll probably do this live, either as a video or in a sort of live session. Then we'll design a survey and forms to find out. Okay, additional resources and summaries can be found at the Sway linked here. There's also a video play link for this module, which will include these videos and other techniques as well. If you use a QR code in your device, you can just scan them directly, or you can just use the camera on your iPad to open the links. You can probably click on the images here as well, I would think. Right, okay. I think that's everything. That's over now, folks. So I'll see you in a little while.